You are now listening to Season 2 of Blacklist Hustle Podcast. What's up, Hustle Hive? Welcome back to another episode of Blacklist Hustle Podcast. Happy National Women's Day. Happy National Women's Month. It's absolutely amazing to be here, be a woman, be a Black woman, be an entrepreneur, be somebody on this podcast and be somebody and know that what I have to say has a value, adds value to women, to the culture, to society, to our young women in our Black community, in our community of women in general. I definitely want to start off the podcast a little bit different, so go ahead and stay tuned and check this out.
Let me just say that I am a very beautiful person. I'm sweet and intelligent and funny and awkward. And I just had to say that. Only because I'm a little tired of this stereotype about the angry Black woman, whoop-de-doo, right? Because as you can see, I am Black and a woman, and I'm not angry at all. Hell, I'm pissed the fuck off. I'm mad as hell. I'm so mad, I'm getting ready to break my foot off in everybody's ass, but pretend this is class so I can tell you why I'm mad at the education system. Mad because education is the key, yet they keep the poor locked out. They get hand-me-down books and hand-me-down chairs. Hand-me-down teachers who give them hand-me-down stairs. I'm pissed off at gentrification. Pissed that the rich be Robin Hoods and mad that Robin Hood was just a motherfucking myth. I'm mad because Barbie is a standard of beauty. I hate that fruits and vegetables are so damn expensive. So how the poor gonna eat healthy off some damn tater chips? I'm mad that the government and media are controlled by the same people, and those same people are the same people who control everything. I'm mad women get raped. I hate that I only got 3 minutes to say this poem, and I got about 10 minutes worth of angry. I'm mad that I can't say that I am a socialist out loud. Mad that the gay and lesbian can't be out loud and proud in the military, and pissed off because only 28 states allow everyone to unite in holy matrimony. And while I appreciate civil unions, fuck civil unions. If I move to another state, then the state of my civil union is at stake. So what good is that gonna do for me in the state of Wyoming? And believe it or not, I'm still pissed the fuck off about slavery. That's right, I'm still mad because I still pick cotton off clothes racks and never racked up reparations. Mad because niggers call each other niggas, and sick because any minute sister girl's gonna turn around and call me a bitch. I'm mad at Black men for reasons I don't have time to list. I'm pissed off at hip hop. I'm pissed off at Black on Black crime. I'm pissed off that Ricky Ross got all the crack and we can't turn that shit back. I'm pissed the fuck off. I'm mad because above everything, at any given time and in any given space, I, as a Black woman, can suffer from racism, sexism, homophobia, classism. I can be raped, beat, be burned alive, and no one, not a single soul, will look up to acknowledge my absence from this universe because I am insignificant, because I am a Black woman. And finally, you see, I have every right to be pissed the fuck off. But most of the times, despite what you believe, I'm really, really sweet.
All right, y'all. So that was Porsha O from the IWPS finals in 2014. That poem right there was an angry Black woman poem. If you guys don't know, I love poetry. I love poetry slam. She's absolutely amazing. That right there was hosted, that conference in Phoenix, Arizona. So that's just absolutely amazing. I hope that it was very powerful, very enlightening of what us women go through. All colors, all nationalities, all races, whatever the fuck you claim yourself to be and you are, just know that you are not alone. We fight together. Even though all of us at times, us women can be very toxic to each other, our environment, I want you to remember, at the end of the day, we are all women. We all represent something. We all come from a different background, a different nationality, a different heritage, a different culture. And what we do and what we go through is different. But we got to stand together. I know it's very hard at times for women to stand together and fight together because a lot of times, just like on Black crime and colorism, we are fighting each other. White women fighting Black women fighting white women, and Latinas in every culture. And a lot of times we don't like each other. A lot of times there's a lot of bullshit, a lot of drinks being thrown, a lot of toxicity, a lot of hate. Okay? Understand that we need to fight. We need to stand together. And a lot of people don't like when women try to stand up, stand together, and be bosses together and be amazing women to each other. A lot of people want to see the hate, want to see the ugly, want to see the pettiness because it's entertaining. We are not circus animals. We are women. We need to stand together. We need to fight together. So that's what I just thought I'd bring out to you guys and, just represent the women for National Women's Day and, National Women's Month and stuff and, just come out real strong and powerful. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into today's episode. All right, Blacklist Hustle Podcast. So for today's episode on What's Tea, we got two things. Okay, so the first thing is T.I. and Tiny Harris face 6 more sex assault victims, including high schooler, former military member, and a stripper. Now, lawyer seeks criminal investigations of T.I. and Tiny Harris after 11 alleged sexual assault victims come forward. Now, they have not been charged or anything. Nothing has been filed as far as going to trial. Okay, so they're still trying to find this evidence. They're still trying to do all these things to try to go ahead and get them convicted. But god dang, okay, so 6 more people. We got a total of 11 people. How are we not supposed to believe this? You know what I mean? They're not saying anything, which I'm probably pretty sure that their lawyer and stuff, their publicist and all that stuff is telling them, not to post anything, not to reach out on social media, don't say anything. But at the end of the day, it's like, I feel like they should. I feel like as a publicist, I don't have a degree, so I could absolutely be wrong, but you should always want to fight for yourself. You should always want to make sure that you are clapping back. I feel like them being in silence is one of those things is leaving everybody in the air. Like, could it be true? Could it not be true? Or leaning towards more, it could be true, because all you see is more and more people come out and, say that this has happened to me. This is a crime, and the sucky part of the situation is, if they did get convicted and if they do, go forward with the prosecution and going to trial and stuff like that, it's one of those situations where it's like, okay, these are women. These are people in our community coming forward stating that they were assaulted by people who are not only known members of, celebrities and stuff like that, but they got money. They have lawyers. They have people. So it's one of those battles of like, will they be held responsible for a situation if anything ever came to light? And I feel like that is something very triggering, and that's something that needs to be discussed and talked about. Would a judge kind of make an example out of celebrities with something this serious, especially in the music industry? I'm going to work really hard to get a guest on the podcast about what it is like to be in the music industry and, kind of behind the scenes of that, because I feel like a lot of people who try to get into the music industry, get into situations where they meet people or their managers want to meet people, and they're putting them in situations to where it's like, if you want to be successful and if you want to go forward with this type of career, these are the things that you need to do, and these are the type of people that you need to make happy. And in order to make them happy, these are the things that, like I said, that you need to do. And a lot of times it's putting young people and people in general in bad situations that they don't want to be in, or that they regret, or that they kind of hide and, swipe under the rug, because it's one of those things. I feel like in the Black community, especially growing up, it's one of those things in your household. Whatever happens in your household stays in your household. Okay. This is family business. Family business isn't to be discussed outside of family walls. I've been in situations like that growing up, to where it's hard talking to a counselor, or it's hard to talk to people because your parents or your family members are telling you, if you talk to someone or you talk to these people are going to take you away from me. If you talk to these people, then you're putting me in a bad situation. So I can only imagine what these victims are going through in situations like this, where they're possibly, being told, by fans, oh, this can't be true and this didn't happen. And and on the other hand, something did happen and they didn't talk about it. It's like, well, why didn't you? So I'm definitely very curious. I keep bringing this up on the podcast for What's Tea because I'm definitely following it closely because it has so much to do with a lot of things that we face in our society today that I feel like are very, very key important things that as women, as people, as the Black community that needs to be spoken and needs to be known, especially with the whole situation of, the things in the music industry. Let me just say that. So like I said, I'll work really hard to try to get someone in the music industry on the podcast to do an interview. You guys, I'm working really hard on that. So that is it for that. Let's go ahead and get into our next topic. First thing I would like to say is I'm going to have Darian back on the podcast as a co-host. We've just been really busy with our schedules and stuff, but hopefully we'll schedule some studio time and stuff for this weekend. We'll record to get him back on the podcast. I definitely have a surprise for you for next week's episode, guys. So definitely stay tuned to that. And for the next thing I want to talk about for What's Tea is this damn pastor on... I don't know. I think he's from Missouri. Let me go ahead and pull it up because I want to give you guys a factual things, real time, real life. Okay. And I'm also going to play what he said as well. But it is a Missouri pastor. And basically, this is what he said to his sermon to women.
After they get married, let themselves go. Why is it? Why do they do that? Here's how way too many women are. I got him now. The chase is over. Hey, that's where you're wrong. The chase ain't never over. The chase ain't never over. And by God, if he don't love me the way I look now, he ought to look at his own spare tire in the mirror. Be the epic trophy wife of all time, like Melania Trump. I'm not saying that at all. Now, most women can't be trophy wives, but you know, like her, maybe a participation trophy. I don't know, but all I can say is not everybody looks like that. Amen. Not everybody looks like that. But you don't need to look like a butch either. Hey, why is this? Here's something you need to know. You need to know this. Men have a need for their women to look like women. Hey, sweatpants don't cut it all the time, huh? Wearing flip-flops and pajamas to Walmart, that ain't gonna work. Ain't nothing attractive about that. It ain't. And when men want their wives to look good at home and in public. Can I get an amen? Well, there's some old guys here. Amen. Amen. It's true. They want their wife to look good. In this book now, Men's Needs and Her Needs, I referred to that last week. Dr. Hartley says this. Listen to this, ladies. You should take great pains as you can to look like the woman he fell in love with, as much as you can like the woman he married. So here's a secret. Here's a secret you need to know, ladies. God, here's something, made men to be drawn to beautiful women. We are made this way. We can't help ourselves. We are like that. That's how God made us. Do you think Eve wasn't attracted in the garden? He made men to be attracted to beautiful women. By the way, that's why he married you. He thought you were the most beautiful thing he had ever seen in his life. And that's why he married you. Now, you can call it juvenile. You can call it immature. You can call it sexist, whatever you want to. But here's another secret you need to know. Ladies, this is the way God made us. It's the way we are. Men are going to look. He made us to look. You want them to be looking at you. So we need to not made men neither. Don't let yourself go. It's important that your man has a good-looking woman on his arm. But you say, how can I do that? Oh, I'm so glad you asked that question. I'm so glad you asked that question because you're in my...
All right, now, y'all, I had to stop it there because it was just very, very annoying and triggering. But basically, I don't know what this man thinks that he qualifies in order for us to give an opinion or say. First of all, I thought it was very unprofessional for him. One, as a pastor. Two, y'all already know he was white, okay? And three, it was very unprofessional for him to even have a place to comment on what women should do and what they should look like. To say that during a sermon as a pastor in a church, filled with men and women, virtually, or whatever the case may be. Not only that, it was just that shit is just mind blowing to me. For a man to sit there and say what a woman should look like, to comment on how she should look, is just beyond me. Men should never ever feel the need to say or comment on the way a woman looks. Women, we should not have a say or should not be able to say how other women should look and be portrayed. That's what the fuck is wrong with our society today. Everybody feels like they need to have a fucking opinion about the way a person needs to look, the way a person needs to speak, to dress, to walk, to have, to do in life. Keep your fucking comment to yourself. Don't nobody give a fuck about that shit. I'm going to move and maneuver and walk and look the way that I want to fucking look. You have to hear that shit all the time growing up, in school, in society, from men. I remember going to school in middle school with boys, little boys, and their idea of a woman, one, was you look like Barbie, and two, you need to look like this female in a pornography because they're watching porn at a young age. You need to have non-inverted nipples. Your areolas can't be too big. You need to have a butt. Your titties need to be perky. Your stomach need to be small. Stretch marks are a no-no. Your hair needs to be able to let my fingers run through it. It needs to smell good. It can't be too oily or too greasy. All these things that people and men in society hold over is absolutely freaking bonkers. I used to remember always looking at my nipples or looking down because I always was insecure and I felt some type of way. My boobs weren't big. I was underdeveloped. I had inverted nipples. I have inverted nipples. I remember getting my nipples pierced twice just to make them not inverted, to be sexually appealing for men. When I got pregnant, I took that shit out. And I would never get my nipples pierced again because I am comfortable with my body the way that it is, you know? Growing up, I was always told to, hey, don't gain weight because if you gain weight, it's going to be hard for you to lose it. Why do you walk around like that? Why do you look like this? Why are you doing this? And my clapback is, if you in your relationship and with your men have to look a certain way or dress a certain way, then that's your fucking situation. That ain't got shit to do with me. Because in my relationship, in the way I walk and I look in on a day-to-day basis, if I'm comfortable, that's all that fucking matters. And if my man is comfortable with me being comfortable in what I want and the way that I want to present myself, that's all that matters. If you have to do certain things to make other people, especially men, happy and to keep them, sis, you need to move the fuck on. Get your shit together. Realize that you are not living a life for somebody else and keep it pushing. Okay. I did read more about this pastor and stuff, and I guess he is in therapy. And, a lot of the women from the congregation did come forward and say how it was inappropriate and how they did not appreciate it or like it and stuff, which I thought was really great and inspiring. So men, understand that you do not own this body. You do not give birth. You do not go through what women go through. You do not spend the money that women spend to look a certain way. Yes, there are men out there that do, but majority of cosmetic surgery comes from women trying to look like an ideal person or someone who is not them. It is okay to do things and want to do things with your body. It is absolutely okay. But as long as you want to do it for you and you're not doing it for somebody else. Okay, so that is my spiel on that. Let's go ahead and get into today's episode. All right, Blacklist Hustle Podcast. So when getting into our what had happened section was, I got two questions for you guys, okay? The first question is, can a woman making money intimidate a man or motivate a man? And I feel like it can be both. I feel like it depends on the type of man that you have and the type of man that you are seeking. If you are seeking and you have a partner who is very independent themselves, I feel like you having money can be very motivating for them. And they can also be intimidated by it, because you got to understand, if you are a social media person and you're making money through social media and through posting and stuff, prior to your relationship, how the way you make money needs to continue and it needs to be established. If you make money posting bikini pics online and you were doing that prior to your relationship, your boyfriend should not be intimidated by it and he should not be insecure by it. If he is both intimidated and insecure by it, that relationship is going to, one, be toxic, and two, is not going to work out. Because you already pre-established that this is how the way you make money through, social media, posting pictures, OnlyFans, stripping, however the fuck you make your money and you get your coin is pre-established in the relationship, that right there will determine how the man reacts. Some guys, they don't like that because they themselves get very insecure that other people are seeing your body like that. They feel very, that is mine, very manly, very alpha-like, nobody can see you, no one can touch you, all this other stuff. When in reality, the whole question behind that a woman will always ask in the back of her mind is, motherfucker, are you going to pay my bills? Are you going to pay this? Are you going to give me money for this? And then this is when the man's mind triggers, I feel like, and then brings up, the whole thing of, oh, women are just gold diggers and women just want your money. And, they just, they're always wanting something for you and stuff like that. Because men can't really make up their mind. They want a female to be a hoe for them, but be able to be a boss and then at the same time make their own money. It don't work like that. It's very annoying and very confusing when men do not know what they want. I feel like the men that, call women gold diggers, they like the codependency that they want women to place on them. They like to be able to be empowered and be in control of a woman and what she needs and what she wants and being able to pay for that. And those typically come from men who call women gold diggers or tell women that, they ain't shit or they have money and all this other stuff, They like that codependency. So I feel like you need to really see how a man wants you to need him. Because at the end of the day, first thing, there's nothing like having your own. Nothing. And if you're going to get into a relationship where you are in a relationship, make sure it's already pre-established on how you make your money, even though it's nobody's fucking business. At the end of the day, pre-establish that, because you don't want to go into a toxic situation, a toxic relationship. You don't want somebody to get jealous, because also I have brought up on the podcast previously how the way, people respond to you. If you are famous and you are a big social media influencer and you are making money by posting pictures and doing certain things, the comments that you get, the likes that you get, people always posting and reposting and sharing your picture, and how big you are on social media will also affect your partner and how the way they view it and see it and the things that they hear from a different perspective and point of view. So that's always something to kind of think about. In situations like that. But men who are insecure will be intimidated, and men who want their women to shine, and men who see women being bosses, and being out there in their bag and starting businesses and about their own, or you got a nice big title in your company, in a business, that you're working for and that you're branding and you're doing certain things and you're bringing money in. Some men who can be motivated by it. Men who are motivated by women who are holding these type of titles and bringing in this type of money are also men who want to build with you. They want to be right there with you. But at the same time, when they build with you, you always want to take a step back too, because you don't want it to be a competition thing. People think relationships are hard. People think that relationships are, meant to be very, codependent on each other, when in reality, you guys can have your guys' money together and you guys can have your money separate. You don't necessarily need to be codependent on your partner at all. It's really nice when you and your partner have established on who pays what and, who brings in more money and who does certain things. But whatever works for your relationship works with you. But don't ever, let me just put this out there as a side note. Don't lie. Don't lie and say what your partner does to another person or a family member that they do not do. Don't lie about the money that they bring in that they do not have. Okay, there's nothing worse than fake flaunting or fake, lying and faking about what they have and what they can do, knowing damn well you are supporting that person and then turning around and might not be being able to support yourself financially. It's one of those things. Don't break your bank for somebody else. Don't make your pockets empty and make sure there's no food on your table or left in your pocket to take care of somebody else. Okay. Don't be a hypocrite. Don't sit there and tell people not to do something that you're doing at the end of the day, essentially. I just thought I'd throw that out there as a side note, but I always see that, a lot of marriages, when you think about it, or a lot of relationships, they take a toll when it comes to the whole money and the whole financial situation. And I feel like in our day and age, since a lot of people aren't getting married, but they are being in relationships or open relationships or, having those fuck buddies or taking bae vacations with people who may or may not have a title. It's one of those things where you're seeing who makes more money. Who's established to pay certain things on dates and trips and when it comes to, certain situations like that. And I feel like those things are depending on your specific situation. I think that women who make their own money can both intimidate a man and both motivate a man. I just feel like the actions will speak louder than what they tell you yourself. Anybody can tell you, go for it. I'm happy. I'm proud of you. But at the end of the day, be very jealous, very envious, very negative, and very hurtful towards your wins and want to see you lose a lot more. So you really need to have your guard up when it comes to you, your money, your financial situation, when it comes to men and when it comes to people. Men never want to see women really win. You know what I'm saying? Because nothing is ever equal. They always say it's an equal opportunity, but ain't shit equal. Women work harder than men. Women accomplish more than men. Women do more than men. Okay? Women succeed more than men. Okay? You see women doing a lot of stuff and having to do a lot of stuff. Women are naturally multitaskers. Okay? Just like in social media, a lot of, men can get very jealous of their women. Sorry, guys. Nevaeh is on today's episode. But a lot of men can get very jealous of women and, on the likes that they get on social media, the comments and stuff like that. That can get to your partner and your person's head at a lot of times because they're not used to the attention that their women gets. And, they'll react, differently to, situations like that. Or they will try to, be very judgmental and very negative towards that. So, anytime that it comes to a woman making money, make sure that, you always have your own. Don't be no codependent on no man. Make your own, do your own, have your own. It is a-okay to do that and have that. That's what we want. We want to be strong and independent women. And that's what we want to share and show to the younger women out there. And that's how, we defy society's expectation as women, because we're not just, seen, not heard. We are seen, and we are outspoken. And, we are out there and we are doing big things and major things when it comes to money, when it comes to corporations, when it comes to a label that we hold within a company or a company that we build ourselves. Okay. Mommy. Mommy. All right, you guys. So that's all that I had for our What Had Happened Was section. Let's go ahead and get into a Ask a Bitch and our problem-free philosophy before closing out today's episode, okay? So for our Ask a Bitch comes from a Snapchat from Devon, and it says, what kind of men and people are you attracted to, and how did you know you were bisexual? Now, first, let me just start off by saying I am a sapiosexual, which is someone who's attracted to or aroused by intelligence in others or having intellectual conversations and stuff. So I will say that start off by first, to answer your first question, those are the type of people I'm attracted to is, having those deep intellectual conversations. I'm attracted to intelligence, people who can hold conversations. That's just me. That goes for men and women. And, I knew that I was bisexual. Basically, after my first threesome, I knew that I was okay and I could handle, having, a male partner that I was into and us having a three-way. And, by our third threesome, I was hooked. I knew that I could really like women. I knew that I was interested in women. I knew that I sexually did not mind having sex with them in that way or doing anything sexual with them or to them. So that is it for our Ask a Bitch section. Now for our problem-free philosophy, I got two things to tell y'all, okay? The first thing is, nothing hurts a hater more than a person, that they're hating on is living their life and doing better and getting better and growing, okay? Nothing hurts a hater more than that. All right. And the second thing that I want to tell you guys is, basically something real quick is, this is to the women. So, dear women, it is okay to be you. It is okay to speak. It is okay to have pride. Don't let no bitch make you second guess what you have to offer. It is okay to shine. It's okay. You do not have to lie. You don't have to live a lie. You might not know it yet, but you are a goddess. So let me tell you this. Think and see yourself as a warrior goddess and be ready for battle. And if need be, fight for your happiness and be ready to knock a bitch out, period. All right. So that is it. That's all I have for you guys for this week's episode on Blacklist Hustle Podcast. Thank you so much for staying tuned and listening to season 2. I'm your host, Marianna. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube, subscribe to the podcast. Also, don't forget to rate, review, and share with family and friends. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at Blacklist_Hustle. And also at _love_Marianna. Talk to you guys on next week's episode of Blacklist Hustle Podcast. I'm out.